Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. We are in 2026. Oh, my. Rather interesting. How are you guys feeling about the new year? How's things been going? You know, did you recover? Are you at peace? Are you happy? I came on today because I went to a what's it called? A vision board party, and I'm looking like I really need to do my hair. I really do. I'm looking crazy. But anywho, I went to a vision board party, and it was rather interesting. And right before it, I got all this anxiety. I don't know. I don't like to be around new people because since I've done all this work, I got to vet people out. Since I've been just really hermiting, and it's like when you have the dark night of the soul, you kind of have that dark night of the soul, and it's called dark for a reason. It's called dark night of the soul for a reason. It's not a physical dark. It's an internal darkness. It's an internal darkness. It's an internal dark night of the soul. You are in the depths of your soul. You're so deep inside. It's almost like I use these things, let me see. Like when I'm going to bed. I really love these things, right? Because nothing can get in. No light, no nothing. And so I really love these, but that's what we're going into. That's what I've gone through. And the beautiful thing is, when I went to this vision party, I struggled. I struggled with just, talking myself into going. I struggled trying to talk myself into this vision party, but I finally worked it through. Um, and during that time, I was learning so much about all the work that I've done. And rather than looking for something or grass greener, I stayed in my grass and I cultivated the grass and I did the work and I mowed it and I pulled out the weeds and and mind you, I'm still, a work in progress, but I really took my healing seriously because I was tired of being tired, And a lot of times when you're in pain, it could be a little egotistical if you think about it. Because you want to hang on to that feeling, that injustice or whatever so and so who whatever did to you, and it's almost laid in pride because you actually get arrogant, especially if you know you didn't do anything wrong and it just so happened to happen. But the beautiful thing of it, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And it was so crazy because when I went to this vision board party, it was like I didn't really, like, I don't know why I was feeling so much anxiety. I don't know why I had to tap myself and make myself, um, because during my healing process, I started um, working with my nervous system and beginning to do tapping to help me, you know, surrender my system, because my system has been through a lot, especially with men. I'm just gonna be real. And it's so crazy because when I mean men, I'm not just talking about boyfriends. See, something is trying to invade me. Sharing this is probably very important because I'm having issues. And so the invasion of this person, and it's so crazy because the more I start understanding the Ashaka records and start understanding um soul ties and understanding those experiences and what they do to you, what they have the ability to do is they have the ability to hold you hostage. And so as I started working through this, and this is so crazy because honestly, I have been in this journey for a very long time. I've been working on myself for a very long time. I mean, I'm telling you, is a very long time. But it was something different about this journey that I went in because I was truly, it was almost like I was this fly on the wall watching myself. I was a fly on the wall watching myself and watching my interactions. And most of my interactions were not really with females. It was mostly my interactions with the male archetype. I didn't I can either take or leave, you know, girls and that's what's so interesting because I had a hard time with women that were for me like do everything that somebody tells them to do. I like that kind of stuff, do everything for their man. I could not. It was hard for me like that, right? But what I started learning is that I was taking all these things, watching my mom do what she did for my dad, and then I get married to some craziness, thinking that I had to identify myself just like I identify my mother, how she dealt. And so as I was doing my going to this party, I was feeling all kinds of anxiety and and I know I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to get it on track, but I'm trying to get everything said so you kind of understand what I'm trying to say. But anywho, what I started realizing is that when you do the dark night of the soul, because you're in the dark night of your soul, you're in the darkest place of your soul, and you're there sometimes for quite some time. You're there for a while if you think about it. Some people longer than others. I was in my dark night of the soul for a good few years. Good few years. And why was I able to do that? They think I was able to do that because COVID trained me to be able to just cut the world off. Cut the world off and then go within, because that's what I did during COVID. I went in. But then while I'm going in, I'm in all these like nefarious relationships. And some of them weren't, you know, were romantic relationships. Some of them were just friendships. And I started realizing, like, why am I pulling this to myself? What's going on? And the biggest thing for healing, and I'm just gonna say it, nobody likes to hear this, but the biggest thing, um, in healing is start taking responsibility. Somewhere in there, you have to take responsibility for your part in the madness. Because even in the madness, you are a participant and you choose to be a participant. You choose to be a participant of dysfunction. That's why I started learning. And so, what you do is, it's like you're at a swimming pool and the water's too cold, and you'll dab your foot in there and think you did some work. Then you wait a few more days, you dab your foot in there and you think you did some work. But the dark night of the soul is diving into the abyss of your own healing. Taking responsibility because the victim becomes a perpetrator eventually. I'm going to say that again. The victim becomes the perpetrator eventually, especially when you don't cut it off, when you need to cut it off. But we like to play Captain Save a Hoe. Oh, no, 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 no. It's going to get better. Oh, no, 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 no. And I don't know why we need validation within ourselves. It's like we'll get dragged through the mud and then we celebrate the dragging because we think it's the most kindest thing that we could do because we're so understanding and we know, yeah, I know, but that's not good because what happens over a period of time, you convince yourself that it's okay. So when you do the dark night of the soul, and I'm referencing that to when I went to the party, I have been so, I only have connections with my closest friends. Anybody else, I don't care. I don't care, right? I don't really care. And so then what was happening is when I finally came out and I'm dating, I'm fine when I'm with my friends, but when I was with new people. So that's why I was having anxiety because when I say you do the dark night of the soul, you in the dark, like you literally in your soul. You're really like, I'm working on my website right now, so please forgive any of you guys that go up there and it's kind of combobulated. I'm actually doing a lot of work. I'm integrating Shopify. I'm integrating a lot of systems. So when you go up there and you don't, and it's kind of combobulated, it's just for a short while. So just be patient with me because I'm doing a lot of integration into the website. So anywho, so you're sitting here and you've been in the dark night of the soul. And what happens when you, like I said, I love this because when I put that on, I can't see nothing. Okay, and think about it. You've been there for months, sometimes years. And then all of a sudden you come out in the sunlight or somebody turns the light on and you cannot see because you've been down in the depths, the darkest part of your soul. And then you're supposed to go out and just be hey with people. And I'm going to tell you something. This is why I say you should do this work. Because it will change your value on who you choose to have in your circle, who you choose to have around you, because you want to take care. because you start realizing when you go into the dark night of the soul how easily it is to become fragile because of somebody that doesn't give a F about you. And the crazy thing is methodical, and one thing that I'm learning is that these people don't do well in their life because you can't do that to people that mean well. Um and if you've been that person, I would suggest you do some healing so you can repair your karma. But it's like really crazy. So I go to this poster board. I should have pulled out my poster board. I go to this poster board party, and I'm having a great time, and it's probably like 10 people, and I was just so shocked because I was like having these panic attacks, and it turned out to be really 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 good. And I'm sitting there, and this gentleman says, "Oh, I see that you're a coach." And I go, "Yes, I am." And next thing I know, I'm doing a session. Didn't really want to do the session, but it was just like, it was, I don't know. I says, well, I'm going to give him like 10 minutes. So I said what I needed to say for 10 minutes. Well, the beautiful thing that happened with that is I'm up here working on my poster board, and this young lady comes over and she goes, "I'm looking for a coach." And if I wouldn't have went, I would have lost the opportunity of being blessed by this crowd and then also being a blessing to somebody else. And so it does matter, you guys. It does matter when you are doing your healing to learn to, when you start, it's almost like when you do a fast. When you do a fast, you break the fast, but you break the fast easy and smooth and slow. That's how you break the fast when you're doing the dark night of the soul. You can't just rush in because it will set off your nervous system. You won't be able to function. You will feel anxiety. That's why I was feeling anxiety, because my nervous system. And one thing just wonderful about this is just like, as you begin to heal and bless other people's lives, you begin to get your gifts back. Like you start having like your intuition. It's like God saying to you, like, I got you. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to protect you. You're going to be good. And it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It doesn't really matter what's going on in your life to have that peace. Because you can have so many things going on in your life, but still have the peace. You know what I'm saying? Still have that peace. And so I go to the party and end up getting, I thought it was just one client, then I found out today it was two clients. So it may be three. It may be three. So that's the beautiful thing of it. It's just that I am able to see it and understand that the reason I was feeling that way is because of all the work that I've been doing. And this is why I'm saying, girls and guys, people that have not done well with you, it's because they're in pain. And the one thing I am seeing, and it's just a collective third eye thing, is that, you know, and we keep coming back to this, the masculine energy is in dire straits right now. And this is across the world, you guys. This is not just the United States. This is across the world. The birth rate has gone down like 49, 50%. Do you know what that means? Women are not having children. Women are not involved in relationships. And the ones that are involved in relationships, they're not happy. they're not getting their needs met. And so I heard a blogger say just recently, and he's a male. He said, if you're in a relationship with a man, you, and it's a good relationship, you are lucky. And then he said to the man, if you're in a relationship with a woman, you're really lucky because women are shut down. Women are, hey, how are you? Women are shut down. And I keep telling you guys that they're not shut down because they just loathe men. They shut down because they're tired. They're tired of babysitting grown men that will not do the work, grown men that don't care enough for the relationship to make sure she's to make sure you're knowing what she's communicating. And it's something with the man's frontal lobe. Like, it's sad. It's sad because it's not only just that they're checked out, but it's biological. And so we must understand and be sensitive to that because this is decades of being simulated. This is decades being told this is what a man's supposed to do. This is how a man should be. And this is how, but women are not responding to that. And the one thing is, too, women did that back then because women couldn't even have a checking account until uh, if I'm not mistaken, 73, 74. She couldn't have a checking pouch. She couldn't have her own money. She couldn't, and now you give her money. You give her freedom to choose if she wants to stay. Because now, numbers are, women are making more money than men, percentage wise. Women are starting more businesses than men, percentage wise. Then you go into the singularity of African American women are the most educated in the United States. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. They hate to hear that. But it's a fact. And so it's just really interesting as I see this shift happening, as I'm reframing how I talk to my male clients. Because ultimately I would like to see them to come out of their sleep and wake up. And there's a way that you can love on people in such a way that they desire change. You don't push them. You don't even have to push them. You just be consistent to who you are. Anybody that knows me, my language never changes. It's like almost annoying because I stay consistent. So it's like this need and this desire for the feminine women to just pull back. And it was so crazy because when I went to the party, it probably was 99% women. And the thing about women, they're not lonely. We have our connections, we have our friends. I have friends that I've had for 25, 30 years. I have a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend. Her and her best friend have been friends for 50 years. Could you imagine that? People don't even stay married that long. So women are connecting, men are not. Men are not. And I don't even know what to, I really don't know what to do or say about it because the demographic of men that come and see me, they're ready, and a lot of them are pretty young. A lot of them are between the ages, probably, I would say 25 and 35. They're ready. It's the older men. I don't know if it's they got geriatrics minds, or I don't know what's going on with them. I really can't. And they're leaving relationships like nobody's business because they think the grass is greener on the other side, right? This is their motto. They a woman to do something that they don't like, they can't control the situation. So then they'll come up with something to break up with that woman so they could see what's across the fence. And then they realize they thought it was grass and it was cow dough. And they don't even realize what it is until they get close, because now they can smell it. But it's so crazy. And then they want to come back. They want to come back, and you can smell that they was on the other side. Like, for real, for real. So that's how comical it is. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And then, the other night I did my blog, and I get some wonderful couples. And more men like that need to stand up and stand out. Maybe they can be an example for these ones that have gone astray. Because I get some beautiful men on this channel. Some absolutely, like, had one yeah, a couple of days ago. He had just had a baby, and his experience and how he was talking about, now that's a, and he's saying, like, why he's having a baby. His wife, he had me on, and he had his wife recovering in the bed, listening to what I was saying. And I'm just like, that there are some good men, but you got so much negative masculine energy that's happening in our society right now. If they don't stand up and if they don't come out, nobody will ever see them. And those men move silently. They really do. You know, it's the ones that